AITA for refusing to help my sister pay for her kids' medical bills because of what happened when I needed help? Throwaway because my sister and family are the kind of people who'd 100% stalk my posts to prove a point. Okay, so, this is messy as hell, but I need to get it out of my head. My sister, 28F, and I, 26F, aren't super close, and honestly, we've never really been. She's one of those people who's always had her life together, good job, nice house, all that. Me? Not so much, lol. I've had my ups and downs, and a couple of years ago, it got really bad. So, 2 years ago, I lost my job. Like, completely out of the blue. Hey, thanks for everything, we're shutting down, good luck. I was obviously screwed. I had no savings because, life is expensive, and I was living paycheck to paycheck like everyone else I know. My rent was due, and I had literally no idea how I was going to pay it. I was freaking out, like, can't sleep, crying all night, stomach in knots level freaking out. So I swallowed my pride, which was already in the toilet at this point, and called my sister. I asked her if she could lend me $1,000 to cover rent. Not give me, lend me. I promised I'd pay her back as soon as I got a new job. I wasn't asking for a handout. I just needed help. She didn't even hesitate. She said no. Straight up. Like, flat, cold, no. And then she gave me this whole speech about how she doesn't believe in lending money to family because it always goes wrong and ruins relationships. She said it wasn't personal, just her policy, and then basically hung up on me while I was sobbing. I was devastated. Like, I get it, no one's obligated to help me, but I'm her sister. I wasn't asking for anything crazy, I just needed help to not end up homeless. Anyway, I figured it out. I sold some shit, borrowed from a couple of friends, and barely scraped by. But that moment? It stuck with me. It changed the way I see her. Like, she made it very clear that I couldn't rely on her when things got tough. I never said anything to her about it after that because, what's the point? But I never forgot. Now, fast forward to last week. Her husband got laid off a couple months ago, and I guess they're struggling, but I didn't know the details because we don't really talk. Then out of nowhere, she calls me. She never calls me, so I immediately knew something was up. She was crying, like, full-on sobbing, and told me they need $1,500 for my niece's medical bills. It's something about a treatment she needs, and apparently, insurance will reimburse them, but they have to pay up front. She said they're completely out of options and begged me to help. And look, I love my niece. She's 3, she's adorable, and obviously, she's done nothing wrong. But I couldn't help but think about that phone call 2 years ago when I was desperate, and she couldn't have cared less. So I told her, sorry, I can't help you. And yeah, I might have been a little petty because I threw her words back at her. I said, I don't believe in lending money to family because it always goes wrong. She lost her shit. She started screaming at me about how this is different because it's her child, not just stupid rent, her words, and how I'm a selfish bitch for holding a grudge over something that happened forever ago. She accused me of punishing an innocent kid just to get back at her, which, okay, maybe that's a little true, but also, where was this whole family helps family thing when I was begging her to not let me lose my apartment? And here's the thing, I can afford to help her. I've worked my ass off these past 2 years to get my shit together, and for the first time in forever, I actually have some savings. But why the hell should I? She made it clear that we're not that kind of family. She set the rules, not me. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, I'm supposed to just forget everything and bail her out? I can't. Of course, she immediately ran to my parents, and now they're all over me too. My mom keeps saying, it's not about her, it's about your niece, and that I'm being heartless. My dad told me I'm acting cold and vindictive. They're both making me feel like absolute garbage, and honestly, maybe they're right. It's not my niece's fault her parents are struggling. But it's not my fault either. And honestly, if I cave now, I know my sister is just gonna think she can treat me however she wants and I'll still come running when she needs me. So yeah, I feel like shit, but also, I feel like she kind of had this coming. Am I being a total asshole here, or is it fair to not help her after everything? I can't tell if I'm justified or just being petty. Edit. Sorry, there is a lot to read, just want to say I am reading all the replies. I see there are more options than previously thought. I am considering helping her get the money in some other way, via other payment systems like paying the healthcare providers directly, or get legal support. I am extremely bitter towards what my sister did back then. Frankly, I do feel like teaching her a lesson, but I obviously don't want to be psychopathic and see my niece to suffer. Thank you guys for the honest advice, we'll read all of them and contact directly if needed.